Welcome to today's Montana Shared Catalog Refresher for school librarians, some of our favorite librarians. We're going to cover who the Montana Shared Catalog, or MSC team is, and how we can help you with student grade level management, reports and notices, special and end of year due dates, how to use our fall and spring school surveys to give us important information about your schools, and how to reach us generally. I'll wrap up by sharing our evaluation survey with you and let you know how to collect your OPI renewal credit for today's session. So, who are we? Your MSC team is comprised of 4 system administrators and 1 trainer. The 1 trainer is me. I'm Kylie McGregor. Amy Marchwick is our lead system administrator there on the upper left, and you may have been in touch with her or our other administrators, Melody Carley, Mel Carroll, or Laura Treader in the past. First things first, let's talk about student grade level management. Grade level is selected in user category 3 in a student's library account. The screenshot that I have up there is from the Modify User Wizard. And if you select the Demographics tab after looking up a user, you can see there in user category 3 which grade they are in. If your school doesn't automatically load students using software like PowerSchool or otherwise, the MSC admins can roll students up to the next grade level in batch. That way you don't need to change them manually. You can submit a ticket to request student roll-ups, but if you're not sure if your library needs the admin's help with roll-ups, open a ticket anyway and we'll figure it out together. You can also have the admins remove seniors after graduation. Now for reports and notices. Accurate grade levels, again, going back to that user category 3, allow you to run accurate reports, including notices. If you need access to reports, need those reports changed, or you need new reports set up, submit a ticket, we'll assist you. Some common reports that schools usually need include overdue or checked out items, often by grade level, notices by grade level and or classroom, most checked out titles, materials not checked out for a specific length of time for weeding purposes, and inventory reports. The following are some examples that are from the MSC's data analytics software, Blue Cloud Analytics, also known as BCA. First and foremost, if you haven't contacted us yet to set up notice reports, you should. The example on the left is a list of students and their overdue items, which fits 2 notices per page. So if you're printing them off and then slicing and dicing them to hand them out to students, we try to make it as easy as possible on you while keeping all the pertinent information that you need. The example on the left is pretty bare bones, while the example on the right is a bit fancier. It includes the school logo and is an example of 1 notice per page to accommodate more information, more text, as well as the graphics. One thing I want to stress about notices, other than how we can make them look for you, is that you can have them emailed to you on a regular basis. You don't need to log into BCA every time you want to print notices. We want to make this as easy for you as possible. Now let's talk more about viewing data beyond gathering notices. Here's a simple BCA report. It's comparing circulation for one school by grade level in both February 2023 and February 2024. I just threw this together as a very easy example. However, the rest of the slides in this report section are examples of BCA dossiers, which is just a fancy way of saying they're visual displays of multiple reports at once. And this example shows the total number of items in one of our biggest school systems, followed by a breakdown of those items by genre. You notice how at the top you could narrow these numbers down by individual library in that school system instead of the whole system, or you can narrow it down by a date range of when the items were cataloged and added in workflows. This is another page in the same dossier from the previous slide. In it, you can see how many items were discarded in 2023 in the top left and 2024, as well as monthly circulation statistics by home location on the right, and then at the very bottom, interlibrary loan numbers. Each of these, again, could be their own report that you view separately, but having them all together packs a bit more of a punch. And I believe some of the schools even used the borrowing stats to encourage some friendly competition among their students. This is a different dossier from another large school system. You may recognize this step. It displays item counts by Dewey Division and circulation by Dewey Division. Each of these pieces can be expanded to see all of the divisions, but I'm going to skip ahead to the other page in the same dossier from the previous slide. It displays item counts by publication year. And clicking on one of these colored tiles lists all the items with that publication year and organizes them by Dewey Division. So in this example, the year 2001 is highlighted, and we're starting at the very beginning of Dewey Divisions with your 000 section. I just wanted to show you both simple and more complex report examples to encourage you to think about what kind of reports you may need or want. Perhaps you don't need a complex dossier, but you'd like to see how your nonfiction items are circling over the course of the year. We can help you with that. Don't forget that we can also help with weeding and inventory. Let us know before you start an inventory or weeding project, because we can probably save you some time. Even if you're not really sure how you're going to go about it, just go ahead and reach out to us and we can ask you some questions to get you thinking about how you want to approach the project and what we can do to make it a little bit easier on you. Special and end of year due dates. If you need a special due date or end of year due date for certain materials or for certain users, submit a ticket and our staff can assist you. For example, if you want your Chromebooks or all items checked out by your teachers to be due in June next year, then we can usually create a special rule for that group of checkouts. Circulation rules are based on user profile and or item type, or how your items circulate. So it helps if you know what item type or user profile you want to include in a special rule. But if you don't worry, we'll help you find out. MSC spring and fall surveys are sent to school libraries using GovDelivery. That's our newsletter software. So please make sure that your library is signed up to this newsletter. We do our best not to spam our members and generally only send out things like system updates if there's going to be a scheduled maintenance on something, as well as updates about training, did you know, sort of factoids, that sort of thing. So what's in our school surveys? If you haven't seen them before, the fall school survey form asks for school closed dates, including spring break and winter break, as well as the last day of school and new library staff information. The spring survey asks for end of year due dates and whether or how you would like students rolled up by grade. It's helpful to our administrators to have schools answer both surveys so that updates can be completed in a timely manner. However, any of these settings or updates can be changed by submitting a ticket. You're not locked in if you already submitted an answer to one or both of the surveys, or if you, for whatever reason, were unable to respond to them. So how can you get in touch with us to request student roll-ups, reports, or whatever, just to check in and ask any questions you have about your library? Well, you can go to the support page on the State Library's website. I've put the link on this slide, and I believe one of us can share it in chat if we're able. From that support page, you can submit a ticket. That's the first orange arrow. Or if you haven't already, you'll need to create your Okta account. That's the second orange arrow. You need an Okta account to view your current and past tickets. You can also view our knowledge base, whether you're logged into Okta or not, by scrolling to the bottom of the support page. And in the screenshot to the right, I'm showing the top 3 knowledge bases that show up, including the Montana Shared Catalog, but we have a few more as well if you keep scrolling down the page. After clicking Submit a Library Services Support Request, or in other words, after you click Open a Ticket, you're going to be asked to log in as a citizen or state employee. And can't emphasize this enough, you're going to want to choose the citizen login option. The state login option is more for myself and colleagues who work for the state library or another state agency. So choose citizen login, please. And then it'll take you to a new screen where you'll be prompted to enter your Okta username and password, which is generally the email address that you set up the Okta account with and the password you created. Next, you're going to enter your ticket information. This is a kind of condensed screenshot of what the ticket page will look like. When you first log in, it'll also list your name and contact information, which will automatically be filled in because you created an account. Next, it'll list, we have a little chart of our different support teams and what they do. So for your purposes in this webinar, we're the Montana Shared Catalog team. So you're going to want to choose Montana Shared Catalog as your support team. But if you have questions about other state library services, like our statewide directory, Aspen, the Montana History Portal, and so on, you choose that support team that suits your needs. Next, you'll choose the category. In this example, we just have circulation. And you would enter your subject, which is basically just the title of the ticket, basically what you're about to tell us about, and then the description. And that's where you're going to enter your request, if you're lodging a request. If you're running into problems in the system, you can list that there. If you've run into an error message, what you've done to troubleshoot, anything like that. And you can also see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little paperclip and the option to add attachments. So if you have screenshots, we always welcome those. Once you've filled out all your ticket fields, you'll see the option on the right to submit. And once you submit, you'll get basically a confirmation screen letting you know that your ticket has been submitted. But what if you want to come back later and view your tickets? Well, you can log in to Okta once again. You'll see Amy very kindly provided me with screenshots. She's logged into her account, but highlighted at the top of the screenshot is the My Requests page. And if you click that, it'll take you to your submitted requests, and you'll see there's a drop down where you can view your open requests is one option. So if you select that, in this screenshot, you'll see that Amy has one open ticket. But if you want to view your closed tickets that may have already been addressed or resolved, you can change that viewing drop down to closed requests. And here Amy has several more. Mel, go ahead.
I was just going to answer Deb's. I just wanted to make sure it was in the recording, which is why I didn't enter it in chat. I wasn't ignoring you, Deb. She's asking for the dossier reports. Are they something that they can create themselves through BCA, or if it's something they need to open a help desk ticket for? It is something that we require you to open a help desk ticket for, just because we only have so many licenses for BCA that would allow you to create your own reports, and we're just too large to have them because we only have 10. So not enough for everybody to have one.
So how would we know what are, like, is it any of the BCA reports available could then be put to get, like, how would we go about, like, knowing what to request to put together or what are available to be possible put together? Like,
really, the best way to go about that is just to think of what kind of report you want and what kind of information you want. If it's one that you saw in this webinar, you could say, hey, that webinar with the colorful slide was cool, and we'll go through and we'll make that for you. Or if you have something that you specifically want to know for your library, just tell us and we'll see if it's possible. There is a lot of flexibility in what kind of data we can pull out of the system. We just need to know what you want, and we can, 9 out of 10 times we can build it.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Not to put you on the spot, Mel, but are there other reports recently or other requests recently that our school libraries have reached out to you for in terms of data or even notices?
There is one report, and it should be thought as a jumping off point if you are looking to genreify your collection, which is a hot topic amongst school libraries in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. It's located in our shared reports folder. You go through to cataloging and then collection analysis, and then you should see a report titled Mark 650 Fields dash genre. That is pulling the information out of the 650 fields for the main genres. So you're looking at like action and adventure or suspense or thriller or sci-fi or fantasy, and it's grouping those items in your collection so you can kind of get a quick view of what you have that would meet those categories. So you can kind of have just a basic look at your collection and start making those assessments of whether it should belong in this section or that section. As I'm sure Laura and Melody would stress, that's not the most accurate field to pull from, but it is a jumping off point. It's a place to start. Other reports that we've built lately, I have them. Just give me 1 second. Our larger schools or schools that share with different branches have asked for reports kind of seeing where their items are in their branch system. So to pick on Missoula County Public Schools, for instance, just because they're large, they want to know if the items at Big Sky are checked out at like Sealy Swan High School, for example, so they can kind of keep an eye on where their materials are and at the end of the year be able to track them down. And then also ones are complete user lists for our schools. So you want to just know the barcodes, the students, the grade level, so you can have a quick reference sheet. We are able to create
I think the only one that comes to mind is that we have had a couple libraries ask for some batch changes to their Chromebook cataloging. So if you find that your Chromebook management is not working out, the one thing that we found is that a lot of people have one shared call number for all of their Chromebooks. And then if the barcode gets peeled off and the item is returned, it's hard to identify if you've been keeping the serial number in the note. Amy and I were able to successfully fix some of those, but it may by case. But if you are having a hard time with your Chromebooks, always reach out and we'll like work out what might be helpful to you. So if we can help you, we will. So if you're having a problem like that or with anything, just in general, let us know and we can brainstorm about some solutions for whatever is causing you issues.